Hi, sorry I'm late. I didn't have an excuse for why I was late, so I was sitting on the toilet going, why am I late? And then I'm fucking late.
He was
I'm
sitting on
Acid
the toilet. And I'm Vielette.
And we are the real life brother and sister, and we are both totally obsessed with all things reality TV. And I want to welcome you to season 2 of our weekly reality rundown, where we try to talk about all of our favorite shows. And I think it's always usually reality TV. Sometimes we fold in other stuff, right? I think it is usually reality.
Okay,
right?
so
Sometimes we fold in shit.
Okay, no,
like
wait.
Okay,
stuff, so
right?
the T is it's always based
in
reality.
Yeah, because we don't do dramas.
We don't officially talk about criminal reality, like true crime, because that's still reality.
Yeah, murders.
But we like to dip in.
Yeah.
To murder.
Speaking of, what is on your feed, V?
I actually have, I've been spending some time in social media, and I have the gift of catching these comments or like these weird interactions. I'm way more interested. I always dip in the comments first because I want to see who's talking what.
Right.
So I have quite a few things. I mean, I'm going to give credit. There was another blogger. I can send this to you for your reference. There was another blogger that I think this woman like lives online. She's just constantly online. But basically, I don't know if you remember last season, Love in Paradise, you had Danielle and Johan in Dominican Republic.
Okay, yeah.
And she was like, oh, we're not going to America. I'm actually here. And he was like, what the fuck? Where's my green card? Okay, so apparently she recently took over his Instagram account and went on to live.
Why? Why did they do that?
So
I see. So she's like talking. Okay.
I'm not going to say that this is the reason because I don't think is a good reason. But
you petty, but talking about him. That's what someone's right. I can just see the comments about.
Right. But
right.
What she does is, so basically, I didn't send you like the prequel officially set this off, which again, I don't agree with, but I'm just going to say what's being said. Apparently, Johan went on to made a post and he was like, hey, if anyone is still in touch with my ex-girlfriend, let her know I still have feelings for her, but those feelings are pity.
Okay.
And she was like, well, I'll show you. And then went onto his live and was like, you're dumb because I still have charge.
I know your passwords.
Right. So she's been reading all the messages and she's like calling out the girls and then she's having full I watched the video. She's like having full conversations with people because they're like talking to her on his live. The dangerous thing is that she makes some really heavy, like dark comments. Like it's one thing to be like, oh, he's just using y'all. It's another to say some of you are trans and you're about to get shot because he's homophobic. Don't go to visit him.
Yeah, I was like, girl, ooh. She is a mess.
Yeah, no, and
obviously,
again, why?
Obviously,
leave him be.
For real.
Send him instructions on how to change the password.
Well, if you're all the things that you say you are, go away. Well, no, I looked at the last thing you sent me, and it says it could be worse. You could be someone who doesn't know that, like, who doesn't change their password. Like, she just guessed and logged in. That's what I'm guessing from that. That's someone who's looking for trouble, not, you know what I mean? Trouble's not finding her. She's looking for it.
No, in the live, she's very, I guess maybe I know he's a dick. Like, I know that he's an asshole and all the things, okay? But I also see her level of assholeness, and I was with the Dominican, and I was very much in love with him, and the things that she says are so, like, racist and elitist and cruel and controlling, always. And she even says these things in the live, like, she's like, it's just, there's just a tone to everything. She's like, oh, you don't even know how to use Instagram. You don't even know how to send an email. You can barely use the computer. You know,
right.
It's that. So you were with him for all those years. You didn't help him at all, did you?
Right.
To me, that says more about you than his situation.
Stupid. Bad.
You had all the advantages and you wanted to use him and go hang out in his country.
That's it.
So both of you are equal. So anyway, to me, that was like drama. And then you have this interesting kind of back and forth where, the detective social media people are out doing it again. Basically, they're claiming that Jasmine and Gino, once again, the rumor is that they're not together, but that Jasmine now has another boyfriend. And she's been seen with him not with him on social media, but like she's posting photos of her on a bed. And then this man has photos of his bed and it's the same room. It's the same bedspread. And apparently now this man, because I went to his account, has gone back and deleted every comment she's ever made, has deleted the posts, any post that has any crossover. So it's even more suspicious. But what I also sent you was like, you have comments even within that are like, I just saw them, Gino and Jasmine, like physically at an airport together.
Yeah.
So
that's just so too much for me, because you could still have a couple that's having turmoil and she could still have another man and still be with Gino. So you can still be seeing them at an airport and you know what I mean? It could all be true, but it's none of our business.
All of it. You're right. I'm
so
just
it's just
like, wow, these
that's
people
what I'm just
really,
like, who fucking cares? She could have a third
really
boyfriend that we don't know about.
The problem is that they're still actively on television, so people feel like they're entitled to their relationship because they're like, well, we're watching you right now, and if it's not true, then I need to know.
Yeah. I feel like people, again, we talked about this, people also feel like if it's on TV right now, they think it's happening right now.
Well, I need you to clock also that within that conversation of the Gino Jasmine thing, that Angela can be seen making a comment.
Okay.
So she's all up in Jasmine and Gino's business as well. And then you have something I just sent you where Angela is still the most active, engaged. I'm going to talk to every fucking comment. I've got something to say to everybody.
That's okay. Some people are like that. I don't know if it's okay, but that's like Fifi O'Hara. That's what she does. She comments, she responds to every comment.
Yeah, it's just it's a lot.
That's a lot. Because if you get 500 comments and it's like work queen and an emoji, you have to respond to that. That is so much.
You just have to realize, like, it's like this really small. Think about it. You have a small little blogger. She's talking about Jasmine and Gino. And then in the comments, you see Angela making a comment. So it's like she doesn't even have anything to do with it. What are you even doing here?
That's so good, though. That's so good.
Right.
These people are crazy.
I know.
mean, we've discovered that they're like on Dr. Phil and all these other TV shows. They just want attention. They're just like attention-seeking
I already told you
people.
about the Kyle thing and how the sperm Kyle, that he's like constantly, he has to comment on everyone's post as well. But it's always like this very strange.
Like a computer talking.
So that's really all I had. I mean, because I've just been wrapping up with weird 90-Day Fiancé crap. What's going on with you on your feed?
Not a lot. I was again watching the Baddies, the most recent episode of Baddies, and I sent you a picture. I'll put it up here. There's the twins, the Claremont twins, and I was confused. Remember, I sent you that photo, and it's funny because I sent that photo to you, and I was watching the episode with my friend, and then he just sent me a photo of what I sent you like yesterday.
Oh,
and he was like, "This is them," and I was like, "Oh, I know. I already went through that journey," but I had seen them in the original Bad Girls Club. I didn't recognize them, obviously, because they're like a different face and different skin tone and everything. But I just thought it was so interesting. Right, totally different people. Yeah. And now I'm trying to like remember their personalities, and maybe it's like the same personality because their personalities were very like, yeah. So same personality, but total different bitches. And then the last thing was Kyle was an intro star, and then they never revisited him again to that movie.
The Sperm World.
Sperm World.
Right.
Which was really depressing.
And categorized as a comedy.
Funny. Yeah.
Yeah, I watched it.
Yeah, what'd you think? It made me think like furries and like all these other small communities that I just learned about, that there must be this massive, because that's what I thought I was watching, right? Because it said
I just thought I was watching
underground,
honestly.
That's what I'm saying, but it was like underground money for sperm. So I thought it was gonna be about sperm banks, and then it started off with Kyle, and then it started off with a bunch of Kyles. You know what I mean? Like different guys.
All these
doing
guys
the same
that
thing
are
that
doing
Kyle
it
did
for free.
They are weird.
It's like they're not actually doing it for free. Their kink is knowing that you're about to go masturbate.
Yeah.
There's there's obviously many of them, but that's the sense, the whole, there's so many weird.
It's so strange because all of them have that one guy has a wife and she wants to get pregnant and he's busy making the donations more of a.
Oh God. No, honestly, there were just some parts that were so cringe to me.
And the old guy where the lady was like, I'm dying and I just want someone who I know to hold my hand. And he was like, well, I'll hold your hand. This is like weird. Wasn't it like a movie? It was very sad.
Oh no, that
and weird.
was like, you couldn't write that. That was really.
That was like,
even the way
I was like, I'm watching a movie. Was
so like, is this real?
It was crazy.
No, it was a crazy. I mean, honestly, there was that one scene and the lesbian couple, and he was like, if you don't mind, I want to ask you questions. And he's asking him questions, and it's so awkward. And again, they're in this like stinky little fucking cheap hotel room. And then it's like the camera's all close up on his profile, and you just see him like lift up the big gulp, and he's like,
They
and it's
are
like
so
this big slovenly
gross.
like dude, and I'm like, right. And like, so I'm already so disgusted by you, and I'm not even a lesbian. I can't, there's like a whole other thing to that. Like, they don't even like dick. Gonna be like, okay.
They literally had to go. I mean, they obviously had to go shopping around, saw how expensive it was, and they're like, wow, this is the cheapest, best way. Wouldn't that
The
be
best
psychologically
way was
get through
if
this?
you could meet up with one of these guys and get a syringe.
They
like,
gives
that
them in a
was the best way.
cup. Yeah, where the guy was like, hi, here you go. But even that is just weird.
But that, to me, that was that sexual kink, because that was like, oh, you know, it has to be done.
But also, it's strange and add an element where all the men are usually talking like they're experts in the science of. So strange. It was such a weird interaction between the people.
I love how they've all
thinking the whole
convinced
time,
themselves that you need to orgasm. I assume it's because it's the shuddering of the body. Honey, that can be replicated. You don't
need.
No. If I got to stand on my
girl
head,
doesn't need an
then shake
orgasm.
me. You know,
girl
like a
doesn't need an
bottle. I'm just saying, it was so. Some of it was so obviously set up
That's what I mean.
to
They're saying like, well, I'm an
take
expert, but then they're
advantage.
making up strange.
And then you feel bad
So
because,
weird.
especially though, if you're paying for it, and then you have to. So say you're paying for it, and then, or even if you're not, and then you have to have intercourse with this strange, gross person, and it doesn't take the first time. Like, how many times are you doing this?
Well, that one girl, right?
Yeah.
With the older man.
Yeah.
It didn't work out.
Never worked out.
And he said, well,
and
maybe
then
with
you have
another
the
donor. And
weirdo
she was
walk-
like, huh.
The weirdo, like, I'm going to meet all my children. Yeah, because that one handshake when they're 3, that matters. You're a father now.
Weird, but that's also Kyle, who has a Facebook group with all his kids. And all I could think the whole time was that Annie needs to see this documentary, because I'm like, if she can't see herself, because Annie seems to be like pretty smart to me.
No, because Annie's like
So
in
it's
those
like
groups.
she needs to see this and be
I'm
like,
telling you-
are you choosing this?
She clearly has compartmentalized herself off into delusion land fully, because the fact that she's physically around this person 24 hours a day now for a week, and she's still.
I feel like she's like rejecting him slowly. But we move ahead.
I don't know, the scenes that
Coming
they keep.
soon is always like them getting married and like, and
No,
she's
it's
always
her
right.
having taking a test and saying, I don't know if I
right.
want Kyle's baby. It's like, well,
Oh, really? Oh, see, I'm still hoping that if maybe she's like that, or she just has the baby and then realizes, I don't want to have anything with Kyle. All I want was the baby.
well,
And says bye.
that's why I thought the clip was weird, because she's like taking a pregnancy test. So A, I was like, oh shit, I can't believe this happened. And B, then she makes that statement, I don't know if I want to have a baby with Kyle. And I was like, well, you always
with.
knew that you wanted a baby. So
Just do what you do, plan A, which was donation, goodbye.
I think she was like, oh, cool, 2 for 1. Like, I can just get the family right now.
Oh, totally. And she was like, oh, I found a guy that I liked. And yeah.
He's just a reminder of why you're still alone, Annie, because it's better. Sometimes the bear
For
is
real.
better. For real.
He is so lame. We're talking about our favorite franchise, 90 Day Fiancé, and one of its many spin-offs, Love in Paradiso. It's season 4, episode 5. Luke still has no money and no prospects.
That's right.
25 businesses, but he wants a prenup just in case.
You never know.
Now that is love. Well, he has one apartment.
Right. And he lives with his
Annie-
parents. I just wanted to...
Annie
He
is so
lives
weird.
with his
Annie
parents.
is still trying to turn Kyle into a normal person, maybe just in her head. And you can keep, what does this say?
You can keep crying, Annie. Tears are not the solution.
You can keep crying, Annie. Tears are not the solution here. No, breaking up with him is.
No, running, sending him
Yeah.
home. That's the... Yeah.
Right? And Shawn is stuck on Douglas, and Alex is motherfucking stuck in the mud of religion. And why can't you understand that? That I am religious and I want to brainwash our children at the very young age.
We can start with them, because I got no notes on them. They were at the end. I literally have like 3 sentences.
I just wrote, it was funny that the religious girl is making penises when they started making clay.
She made that comment, I didn't know clay could be that freaky, and my note was, that's you. The call is coming from inside the house, Tiffany.
For real.
Because not
And
everyone would immediately go phallic.
No, and it
You
reminded me
are.
of those religious people on Below Deck who are everything about Jesus Christ, this and that, and they were like the rudest people, and everything was sexual, and they were coming on to every single person.
Yes.
But they were very like, we're religious and praise Jesus Christ. And, ooh, look at him. Look at this bulge in his pants. I just let it jump on his bones. Like, well,
Or do you
What
remember
is
my
going on?
friend who saw a cartoon character on swim shorts for little boys and said a gay man must have made that because, wow, how perverted. And I was like, who even thinks about that? No mother that's shopping for her child is thinking that. You thought that.
Yeah.
You thought, oh, I'm looking now at a toddler's penis. No one's thinking about that.
That's
but
my
you.
only no. And then she talks. Then it's all this
Well,
weird
that
religion.
and no empathy for the black experience. I was like, yeah.
I get that and I hear that, but
That to me was not necessarily, and I don't mean to minimize this because that is a real thing, but I think in this case for him, that could be a machismo thing. I think he's just belittling the emotionality of anything, really. Like he's just telling you to suck up anything in life because I don't think that he is an emotional person. I think that's how they build guys in Italy. Like, suck, be strong.
And he's Italian, so if she was a white kid, they would still probably have dark kids. Just saying.
Well, there's a lot to that.
So it's like you're gonna have black kids. It's like he's Italian,
Yeah.
Missy. Open your eyes. He's not gonna produce. He doesn't produce solid white children either, my friend.
Yeah, they're still gonna have a similar experience here. If you're talking about in American.
Well, if you just take American history, Italians, like every single thing, Italian, Irish, Japanese, all these people have been persecuted. Anyway,
Sorry, Alex, but you can take Jesus and shove him.
yeah, go find someone with a better relationship with God who talks to themselves. I mean, God.
Oh, yeah, because that was another thing. I didn't write it down. I can't remember exactly how it was put, but if you loved God, you wouldn't love threesomes. That made no sense either.
Yeah, no, that's
what
what I
you
just
talking
can't.
about?
It goes over my head now.
All right.
Especially when they say that shit, and then the only person that's molding penises and talking about it is the one who's so religious. It's like y'all are losing me.
My issue was that I just watched this whole series on cults. Right, every episode was a new cult, and everyone at the end of the episode blamed the head person. Like every episode was about this mastermind. I just thought it's so obvious to me. It's not the person. All of these cults are based in the same book, and they're actually using the literature and the parables within that book to justify, because there's a lot of stuff in there about rape and cutting things off and sacrificing things and murdering people's families and their children and in horrible medieval ways. That's literally like 60%, 80% of the Bible. It's just weird when you say if you knew God. If you knew God, you'd know a lot of stuff, and it's not just love.
Hello.
It's revenge and sacrifice, as in murdering, blood atonement. Your favorite.
Hello.
So leaving there, let's go to another traditionally religious country, but thank God we don't hear about it. And yet you have two people just living their lives.
I have, yeah.
What?
I have a lot of notes. I just think it's interesting. Again, the prenup is mentioned. That's weird because a prenup necessarily would be like everything that I have now stays mine, right? And everything that we make together from the future is ours. That's a generic prenup.
That's what the point of a prenup is.
I came in, right? Like, let me just say, yeah, right? Like, that's the generic, right? What is mine today stays mine.
The idea of a prenuptial agreement, right? A prenuptial, like pre-marriage, means I had all of these things before I even knew you existed. So you don't have any right to them. But if we build something together, you absolutely have a right to that.
Right.
So the idea that he's going in with... So basically what he's saying is, I need a prenup to protect this apartment.
That they're both in there
That's not a prenup.
cleaning.
That's a lease.
It's just... and again, that doesn't make any sense because they're both cleaning it and it's in her country. Guaranteed she's probably doing more work than he is on it. I'll let it go.
I mean, I don't... Well, I thought, because we both lived out of the country, right? But I seriously have tried to purchase property in different countries. In some countries, you can't technically own the property. Like, it needs to be someone. There's just so much there. Yeah, he's interesting. And again, I keep going back to the fact that the man lives with his parents and doesn't even realize. I mean, he just talks about this child like she's so entitled and so spoiled. It's like, well, where do you think that comes from?
Yeah.
You have that in common.
And I think it's funny that she was like, she's tired of talking about money. She's like, I'm just so tired about talking about money. I'm like, girl, you're a teenager. If you're tired of talking about money, you're with the wrong guy. Like, you literally need to find someone whose parents are rich.
She just wants
That's
to be
the only
like,
way
can
to
you
not
buy
talk
me
about money.
this? And him
Not
just
even
say,
came by me,
sure.
just coming at her. Yeah, just doesn't want to talk about it. I'm going here. I want 5 dresses and I want to ride on ponies. And they go, okay, what color?
She's never going to admit that she's with you for the money, but she's with you for the money, man.
For real. And I love that they teach him how to make tamales, which is something I would love to learn. I totally saw that and was like, ooh, that looks really good.
Yeah.
And the wedding that she's talking about is crazy to me.
Yeah. Oh man, the minute she said 3 dresses, I was like, here we go.
And she
This
mentions it a
bitch
few
is like on
times.
TikTok going, the most expensive, beautiful wedding. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're like, Kim Kardashian, that's what I want.
well, yeah, she's looking at the most expensive wedding to happen this year, and she's like, oh yeah, I want 20 chandeliers on the beach. Like, okay, girl.
Right, I want
Like,
the entire. I want it to be nighttime, but I want it to be completely illuminated with candles.
Well, I mean, that was the thing. Like, that was like the most expensive like wedding or something. It was like these chandeliers were like $20,000-$30,000, and there was like 50 to 100 of them lining the to walk away on a beach or whatever. Yeah, just the setup and props.
Well, I'm
is so
surprised
expensive,
she didn't
but,
say like, did you ever watch that movie, Rich Asian People? Rich Asian, is it Rich
Oh
Asian?
no.
There's a wedding scene in that I was like, wow, I'd do that. I mean, she's literally walking through, they have water laid in front of her, so she looks like she's walking through a little flower lilac like pond or stream, and they have everyone along the aisle with the willows doing this. So she's like, you know what I mean? It's like your drag con booth, but like in life.
So much, right?
It's a lot. It's a lot.
So much.
Like you could almost hear the cicada. You know what I mean? Even though it was like indoors. It's like, oh shit, blue value. Yeah, because she said she wanted a violin and a piano, and I was like, okay.
And then the not wedding planner, but the person selling the venue, is obviously planted more seeds. It was like, you're obviously going to want a live band and a DJ.
Right. And if you want it to go smoothly.
I get it. I've been to those parties, but
if you want it to go smoothly, you should have a planner too.
Well,
you know what's amazing is that what sucked for him is that he's not a stupid man, and he's not the kind of man that doesn't know that he needs flowers, and he obviously would know the basics of a wedding, an event. He's not that kind of a guy. Like he's clued in. But she literally sprung this, hey, guess what? We're planning a wedding today.
Yeah.
On him.
But
and
he
I
was
just don't
gagged
think
that the venue was $5,000.
that venue was gorgeous.
He just stopped. He was like, I'm like, girl, $5,000 is nothing for a beautiful
For
venue.
that
And
place?
again, like you're talking about, when he was like, what else? I was like, girl, then we're talking about the food, the chairs, the tables, the settings, the flowers, the people to serve the food.
The invitations.
Yeah, there's so much. And he's just like, whoa, the venue's expensive. Well, hold on to your fucking hat, dude.
He's like, hold on, I need to go sell these sunglasses real quick.
Oh, right, these 300 sunglasses. Still not going to be able to afford his wedding.
No.
Oh, God, have mercy. And the last thing with her and that, anyway, comes to an end, was like the fact that he said that he doesn't trust her judgment is why he wants a prenup made me giggle and made no sense. Because that's not what a prenup is for. That means you need a contract. You want a business contract with her is what you want. You want to be like, no, bitch, you crazy. You can't make any decisions in our life.
No, what he
That's something
wants
else.
is he wants a fail-safe. He's like, if we break up in the next 5 years, I want
It's
to
all
make
mine.
sure that he's literally trying to keep her is what he's trying to do.
Yeah, and the thing from her that kind of got me is when she was like, oh, he's lied a lot, and saying all these things. I was like, there's the manipulative bitch that's going to come out. All of a sudden, what were the lies? Ran out of money? What, lied to you?
Right.
That wasn't a lie.
Right.
With lies? What were the lies? Do you know what I mean? Like, that's manipulation. I'm like, here we go. Because he's the bad guy. Now the 16-year-old's going to be like, and you, and my hair should be like all
Because
these
in her
excuses.
mind,
I can't
she's
do all
like,
these
I
things
just-
because of you. No, bitch,
Right.
it's
In
you.
her mind, she just
Grow
planned her
up.
whole life around his, like a cash cow. And now she's like, wait a minute.
Yeah, and now they're lies. And I was like, here we go with the craziness, manipulation of a 12-year-old.
I made beauty.
Not even interested. And then I have one bullet point for Alex and Annie, and that's it.
For Annie and
Isn't that
Kyle, oh
funny?
my gosh, me too.
That's it, Kyle.
What's yours?
Better
I
put
bet it's
Alex
the same
on.
one.
I just wrote she's upset that she's that he's addicted to fucking other girls.
Oh,
Or
I
the ruse.
say
I was
Annie's
like, and I'm
crying
just
in a
like,
mall.
really? She's still upset? Like,
Right, and all I said was, "Oh, he's willing to make a compromise. Annie can choose who I donate to." What the fuck,
and then I saw the
man?
sperm world, and I was like, Annie, you need to see the sperm world and realize that this guy has a fetish, and he's not interested in giving it up.
Well, then I saw the coming attractions that he was like,
And
"Oh,
he
and by
has
the way,
AIDS
I need to
test.
tell her that on the way I
had 2 more.
Stop right now.
Did you see in Sperm World how he entered the door on this is a quick
Yes.
me, no underwear, showing off his big dick. Hot, not even how are you? So I'm gonna flip you upside down and shake you. Let's do it.
Yeah,
and she was like, "Can I just sit?" Like she literally just arrived. Can I sit down and have
And
a
then she
deep
goes, "So
breather?"
how was your drive?" She's like, "Let me
Right.
teach you how to be a normal human." And how was your drive?
I
and
was
now
just
you
saying it was
ask
so
me,
funny that just that, and then how she responded, like in saying that he was the worst date, like first date ever, this and that. I was like, that, like Annie, you need to see this. This is like what you are interested in. He's not going to change.
the point that he was like, and then you should orgasm. I threw up in my mouth.
After being upside down for 15 minutes.
Threw up in my mouth. There's like a whole thing years and years ago I watched about the Amish.
And that's when you push the orgasm button.
Well,
Orgasm.
there's a word for what the Amish do. It's disgusting. And I can't remember the word for it now, but basically that's what they do is they have the man and the woman lay, and the man lay inside, but they're not allowed to move. So they just like lay. And that's how they like get ready for their marriage. Like that's how they're getting. And every time he describes it, that's where I go, is like this barn where these people are like.
A barn.
And then we lay.
Yeah, well, and also what's funny though is when he described what the technique is, how I knew it was him, because I wasn't sure if it was him. And he was like, and then I'm going to lay you over the edge of the bed. I'm like, it's him. Because that's what he was said in the other
And I
documentary.
love how he's like, can you do a handstand? And she's like, I think so.
And like, what the fuck? Anyway, he's fucking crazy. They found a weird guy with a weird fetish.
My issue also is like, if you're not a part of a documentary, right? Like you don't have some kind of like some sense of maybe this is bigger than what's happening. I don't even know how safe you could possibly feel when you encounter someone like that in a situation like that. The whole thing is
in
just
a motel.
The whole thing is just, and this one I stab you. Like, I don't know. I can't.
That's what
anyway. And our final couple.
Last but not least, Aaliyah and Shawn.
I am my own creation. Oh, she had me crying. I couldn't.
She is going through it, honey.
I couldn't with her. She was
She's
like
going through it for the TV.
with the little bebas, with the little chubby Douglas. She's like,
yeah, where she says goodbye to Douglas, her little speech.
And then, oh my God, actually, honestly, what choked me up, literally choked me up, was her superpower was to shine. If that doesn't show you her inner heart and her desire. See, look, I get emotional thinking about her. I like that she has like this awesome support too. It was quite like a beautiful symbolic thing that they did.
Yeah.
I loved it.
It was cute. And yeah, she does. She has a lot of people around her who support her.
Yeah.
And she also says she can't promise that she won't become a full woman, like get the surgery to have a vagina and everything, which I live for. I love that she's like, yeah, work, bitch. Do it all,
I think that she kind of has made that decision. She just
I'm
hasn't
not
made
up
the
for
decision.
the surgery, because I'm not into surgery.
But she wants to be
Yeah, no, I understand
all
that.
the things.
I understand that. 100.
I'd
If
feel the
that's
same.
her, do
I
it,
would feel
Aaliyah.
the same way.
Yeah, me too. That's what I mean. I totally understand.
Yeah.
Like I haven't gone through all the drama, but I can fully understand the trauma. If there was a piece of, if there's a piece of me I don't
No,
want,
I just
can
always
get
think
it
about
changed.
because the penis is such
Change
a
it.
thing. I mean, like, not to be dark, but like, Hedwig and the Angry Inch, right? It's like you have this appendage you don't want. I could imagine it's just constantly like.
It was a sideway grimace with an angry.
So sad.
No, it was an inch. It was an angry inch. Yes.
So yeah, that's where we kind of ended the episode.
Bada beep bop boop boop.
Lots of crying. I don't know if now. I don't think any of our couples are gonna make it. Maybe Aaliyah and Shawn, but that's really it. I'm not sure.
Really?
I just
Yeah,
don't-
because the one religious girl, I didn't realize it was so religious. See, I thought they were focusing on the threesomes. And I was like, well, that's easy. The threesomes will come and go.
Yeah.
But her being stuck on religion, that's going to be a problem because that's a definite brainwash.
Well, and I was hoping that it was just going to be Tiffany that was stuck on it, or the cousin, right? But
no.
it's not. She is really on the. It's
Well, a lot
kind
of
of like
people-
that Married at First Sight.
Yeah.
Remember, I told you, like, we were introduced to this really cool dude, and he was given this really cool girl, and then all of a sudden he's like, "Oh, but Jesus." And then even his friends were like, he's never really, but something happens, something clicks. Like all of a sudden when marriage and babies, they're like, oh God, we have to indoctrinate the babies. I got to make sure that he knows that we got to put the fear of Christ into our babies.
You got to choose which brainwash you're going to do.
Yeah, that's literally, I think that's what the conversation, that's how it starts. Or that's where it starts, beginning, middle, and end.
Speaking of brainwashing, our temple has officially blocked me.
I love that. Good for you. Congratulations.
Which I almost made another account.
Were you
just to fucking
commenting
stalk
on
them.
each of their posts? Is that why?
I was commenting and I was writing them too.
Well,
I was DMing
I
them
mean,
vomit
how
emojis and
we
stuff.
have these-
When they would
we
do support for Israel, I would emoji vomit and then
Okay.
I would say shit like, "What about Palestine for us real Jews?" And
It's interesting because you and I do have shared reputations, and people might be surprised, but when we were younger, I definitely held the trophy for being the one that problems in the mouth. And
oh yeah.
so if they blocked you, I guess I'm just going to have to step in.
I mean, the rabbi hated me, but
Well,
anyway.
that was a joint.
Side note, that was just
How
totally
dare you
random
ask
brainwashing.
questions.
All
Well,
right.
We love reality TV. Yes, we do. We love it a little too much. So how can we resist talking about a show that has a bunch of reality stars from different shows and networks all in one? We can't. So you guessed it, we're talking about the GOAT. It's episode 4, and 3 people have been eliminated.
I think is it episode 4?
It is episode 4. 3 people have been eliminated, and the all-girl alliance is dead. We are not surprised by this. Alyssa is still kicking, and we love to see it.
Hi, kicking.
Shit, hi, kicking, and giving instructions, honey. But, instructions don't help if you can't hear them.
So stupid.
So I love
can't hear you.
I
can't hear you.
Starts with her Alyssa apologizing to Kristen, and I just thought, because Alyssa came in kind of like Jill's coming in, a little hot, like she's got a little too much drag race in her goat,
I just have the Jill talking about pimples and how she loves popping them, and they asked her, "Do you ever get any pimples?" Oh, I've never had a pimple.
So I wrote down, it's a direct quote, never had a pimple in her life.
Yeah.
And I immediately had a flashback from like junior high school. You would lie to your friends in order to somehow one-up them. You know what I mean? Like, I never fart, or I don't have any hair on my butt, or whatever it is, like some weird anomaly that isn't even possible, but to put yourself somehow above.
Yeah.
When she made that comment, I was like, oh, Jill, this show, Below Deck was bad enough, but this show is really, to me, it's showing me why she is not welcome back. And also, this show should not be called The GOAT. I feel like this is just a bunch of like villains rejects. Like they should have been on the villains show.
Maybe.
Because they're not
Alyssa's not really a villain.
But
I hear what you're saying, but they're not like the greatest of all time.
But they're also not the greatest of all time. They haven't been on many shows.
Right.
They haven't been on...
the way he described it was that they were available for filming. That's
and I hope that people caught on to that, because to me that was probably the most accurate. It's like,
when
who's going to be on Watch What Happens Live?
That's what they do with RuPaul's Drag Race and stuff. They just need to be like, these are the girls that were in LA. Like, why you got to be like, you are the most talented queens of the entire world? No, it's like you guys were here and you answered the call.
My next actual note that has any value is in the same vein, because again, Tosh throws out, cosmetic surgery or work or whatever, and Kristen's the only one that's like, I've had Botox, and literally everyone just stands there.
Honey, Alyssa.
I was gonna say.
I know what Alyssa's gotten
Alyssa,
done
that
back in the
butt
day.
that Tosh put on.
Her butt is
memories.
not
okay,
hers.
should remind you of someone as in your mirror.
Sucked out of her stomach and her side and put into her butt. Because she used to wear, and she still wears chicken cutlets.
And all those motherfuckers, Paula
on her butt.
is nothing but
I
Phil.
know.
Oh, I can't. Oh, yeah, and then once again, so then they have the challenge, blah, blah, blah. I mean, do you have anything to say? Because really, I was just so shady on everyone.
No, just like Jill serving up penis lines.
Okay, see, so I have a note. That's, again, you're fucking cringing me out. Everything you do, Jill, is so cringy. Did you like that line? You want me to say it again without the penis? Like, can you imagine being around someone like that just thinks she's just I'm so clever, I'm so amazing, I'm just so, get away from me. I don't like her. Anything that was redeemable about her is just...
Yeah. Damn.
Did you like that line?
And then Kristen gets voted off, and I honestly thought they were going to go for Alyssa just because of all the like under drama, and I just felt like they were gunning for a drag queen, but they didn't. Alyssa kind of like disappeared into the mist of the drama, She all of a sudden was like, she just went, and goodbye. And just let the drama, and then the drama just like moved around her. I was like, thank God she did not stick around for that.
Well, no, they were like, where's Justin? No, there's no Justin here. It's just Alyssa.
Right. She's like, what are you talking about?
Oh, yeah,
exactly.
And I thought it was interesting. Kristen really, she does have a nickname, Hurricane Kristen. That's like her nickname.
And sorry, go ahead.
She went off on that whole girl thing and then attacked
that's what
CJ.
I mean. Exactly what I was going to say. And then her whole speech was this woman, man, which I live for that stuff if it was true. But everyone's reaction.
True.
Yeah. And then CJ being like, wah, wah, okay.
And then attacking CJ, which, by the way, CJ
is like, so you're showing what is it? She was like, what, the power of woman by attacking another woman?
Well, no, and also, I know that you don't watch all the shows, so you're not really privy to kind of
who CJ is.
Yeah, but that's what is amazing to me, because CJ, if you want to talk meta macro, 100 years from now, if they were talking about this in a class, CJ really is kind of like the ultimate goal of the original feminist. CJ comes from F-Boy Island. CJ is a fuck girl. CJ is a fully realized, fully in control, independent girl. She is a girl's girl, but she is her own thing. And I think that made Kristen nervous.
Well, Kristen got voted off. off. So
Right,
no
but
matter.
why, girl? You can't be doing that. Like, even if you had feelings about another girl, you can't be giving an all-girl speech and then attack a girl. It just didn't make any sense.
Yeah, no, it didn't.
It was weird. And then Jill, Kristen's gone 5 minutes. Jill's like, I want Reza gone because Reza's talking shit about Kristen.
Jill's much. Jill, I feel
And
like
then
is a
Jill
girl that's gonna
called Reza
last long
toxic.
just because. What? Oh,
Jill
right.
actually called Reza
No, Jill's crazy.
That's a bit of
Like
projection. there,
legitimately
honey.
crazy. I was
Yeah.
gonna say she's someone who may stay long just because people kind of forget. They don't forget that she's there, but they forget that she's like there playing the game. You know, like charade. Do you know what I'm saying? Where it's like, I'm just saying where it's like all of a sudden they just become like a personality in the house, and we're just like, oh, and because Jill's there, it's like she's obnoxious and she's making us fucking Passover food, this and that, and no one votes her out because they're just like, it's like someone needs to turn and be like, no, get that bitch out. I think she's crazy.
Well, because you know what? It's that cute phenomenon,
Because she's not
right?
really playing the game.
It's
you
the
know?
cute phenomena. It's the other kind of goat phenomena where like no one's paying attention because she's not a threat.
That's what I'm
she's
saying.
Not a
Yeah,
threat.
it's like she's just
Socially,
kind of in the
she's not a
room,
right.
but she's like stirring
so
the
cringy
shit.
mingy though. She's so cringy mingy.
And that's the goat, yo. That's all
And
I
that
have for the
was
goat.
fucking goat.
All right. From a show where you want to be the goat all the way to Survivor, where goats might make it to the end, but they never win. Or where Jeff Probst will bring a piece of goat and eat it in front of you. It's the last episode of season 46.
And if he was a believer, he would kill it and then eat it in front of you.
Oh my
Hail
God.
Jesus.
Praise him. 5
Praise
survivors
Moses.
remain who will earn the title of the sole survivor and $1 million before taxes.
Before taxes.
$400,000 or $360,000
Yes.
after taxes. Not cute, because he finally got voted off.
Bye-bye.
But Liz is still there,
Liz is still there with her ego the size
wondering
of the
where
island.
gluten-free, where the gluten-free prizes are.
Telling people
Where's
I'm
the
a millionaire.
gluten-free Applebee's?
But take me to the end.
Right, cut that. Well, you cut right to the end of shit. But yeah, how
No,
dare
she said that
her?
episode 1. I'm cutting to the back.
And then say, "Well, I know that I'm a millionaire."
Yeah, she was just
and
reminding everybody. It was like, reminder, I told you all this on day 1.
that was so stupid. And then reminder: if you're a millionaire, why are you eating at Applebee's every week? And then the second thought was, no wonder you're quote unquote allergic to all of these things.
She said
and
she
you
was
have
allergic to
gluten-free
pasta.
and this and that. You know why? Because your expensive doctor. Absolutely. Because only white people are allergic to things. Just saying. I know, like the white people have this never-ending list of allergies, and it's like seems to be like what's hit for the moment. And I now that
Oh,
I know
you just
you're a
reminded
millionaire, I
me
was
of
like,
that-
you're just bored.
You just reminded me of that really, I mean, it wasn't great, but the Cat Williams, what he was saying now. You're not going to find a dermatologist in Africa.
Well, shit like that. That's what I'm saying. Like I remember seeing a clip where there was like this Asian guy. There was like imitate a white guy, and he was like, "Do you have gluten-free whatever? I'm allergic to cheese. Do you have any?" And I was like, "Exactly." And so like, can I have a sugar-free, no milk, non-fat, gluten-free? I was like, yeah. It's so like, oh.
I mean, we could go all the way when she was talking about her limp wrists. It was like, we got vertigo this over here. We got fucking limp wrist Liz over there. Like, come on now.
I'm like, we all have problems. I'm sure, you know what I mean? But it's like only a few of us can afford a doctor to be like, yeah, you have all these issues. And now she's like, I have these list of all these problems I have.
Yeah, let's
Get
not
out
go
of
off
my
on that
face.
tangent, shall we? Because, wow.
Get off. So Liz helps Kenzie win the immunity over Maria, which I thought was very smart.
Unexpected and yet expected.
Yeah, and then Maria tries to put doubt about Ben, which I also thought was smart when she was like, he wrote down Kenzie's name on purpose.
Maria made
She really
a
tried.
valiant effort.
And they
but-
voted her out anyway.
Yeah, they knew better.
Close to the end, she was going. If she didn't win immunity, she would have
No,
won
she-
the whole
that
thing.
would've-
Dude,
that
if
would've
she
been
won
it.
immunity, she was going to win. She
That
was going
would've
to win.
been
She
it.
was going to win. She
Yeah,
was
and
winning.
this jury was clearly very strategic.
The jury was weird. But anyway, yeah, and then Ben wins immunity, the second immunity out of
Which
nowhere.
was so interesting because Jeff had a point. Like, he literally started it like, I'm fucking delirious. I'm losing my mind.
Yeah, and you can kind of tell he was delirious.
Well, because even Jeff was like, can I finish saying what I was saying?
Yeah, because he would go off on these random tangents and not make sense.
And then all of a sudden he...
Yeah, everything was probably really bright, and he was just like, everything's so bright and amazing. Yeah. Because that's
been
what
there.
happens when you don't sleep, you know?
I've
Yeah.
been there, yeah.
That's what I mean. I know that feeling.
Yeah.
So,
And
yeah,
joy
that's
comes
crazy.
easy, right? Joy, that like delirium, that like, yeah. right? You're just like, yeah, I'm alive. Because you're high.
Yeah, so Liz admits she's a millionaire, and he's freaking out over who to vote into the fire base. Like, he votes for one to stay, right? And then the two others have to fight it out
Yes.
over fire. And so he
Yeah.
takes Charlie with him,
Which,
and Kenzie and
you
Liz.
know, I
Well,
don't
who would you have
usually
taken?
vote against people, but a white kid from Harvard, fuck off. You're the last one I'm taking.
So you would have taken a girl?
Yeah, I literally would have taken anyone but him just for the principal.
Well, because that's Kenzie or Liz.
Yeah, it would have been the two of them. Only because, why wouldn't you take Liz?
I
No
would've
one's going to
taken
vote for
Kenzie
her.
there. Yeah.
The minute Q stood up and asked that question, I was like, boop, there it is. There's enough people on the jury that's like me that if I need to be pushed over, it's going to be, who are you in life? Do you need this money?
Yeah, and that's basically what it was.
And Charlie, you're a rich kid at Harvard who loves Taylor Swift. You'll be fine.
They started the questions with, I don't want any Taylor Swift quotes.
Because can you imagine? Well, you watched the season. The amount that they talked about Taylor, like the songs and everything, I imagine would get on in camp. It was probably
Oh, that
almost
must be
like
super
murder worthy.
Yeah.
Like the two of them just going back and forth about this mediocre shit.
Oh, like below mediocre. I mean, that would be almost as gritting as people talking Bible quotes. You know, it's like, why are we talking about this mediocre shit? That has no meaning. All right. And Kenzie
and then,
wins.
of course, you know, so Kenzie makes the fire and Liz makes the statement, I would have beat you all. No, you wouldn't have. You're getting voted out. It's really weird. We have a mutual acquaintance that was at a party of yours that kept making statements like that. I would have won. I would have won. And I was like, but you didn't. Like, would have in what scenario? Because it's not like you saying I would have won if I was on the show. You were on the show. You didn't win. How are you saying that?
She's crazy. That bitch is crazy. Delusional.
That really bothered me. Her ego
And the
bothered
money
me
is
the whole
helping
time.
her. The money is helping her stay delusional.
Yeah.
Sorry, but
She really thinks
people
she's
are crazy.
special. And
People
yeah,
with
the
money are
jury,
crazy.
from the beginning, I just knew they weren't going to go for Ben.
Well, I had said last week, I think Kenzie's going to win. I felt it in my bones. Remember? Like, I literally ended it, and I was like, I feel like it's Kenzie. You just, like, feel it.
But it was so fucking close.
It was close.
And I really didn't want Charlie to win, just on principle.
Yeah.
Give it to someone that will take the money
Well,
and do
he
something.
didn't.
Oh, and by the way, obvious but maybe not obvious, I realized why the format changed. I mean, obviously, yes, Jeff likes immediately after the vote to talk, like right when they're still sleep deprived and everything's fresh, and they want to talk about everything right there, right? But
yes.
There's also a whole budgetary issue because what they used to do was fly in the entire cast, not just jury, into Los Angeles and have a whole auditorium.
Yeah, well, I remember when it was in New York.
So this year,
And have
I
the
noticed.
live, and anything live is even
It's
10 times more expensive.
Yes, and remember he would take the votes and like leave and be like, "See you in LA."
Yeah.
So this year is the first year I think probably since COVID where everyone's finally like officially fully maybe off of the COVID thing, where people are calling for, "Come on, man, we want to see Banu, we want to see
the whole
Jelinski,
cast.
we want to see these people again. We want them to talk to like we want an actual reunion as
Yeah.
opposed to what he's calling that a oh my gosh, I've already forgot. What did he kept calling it? It wasn't a reunion. He called it a tell-all or a rehash or no.
Whatever, yeah.
Whatever it wasn't a reunion.
I hear that. Yeah, that would be fun. More money. It doesn't have to be live.
It doesn't have, but again, like I don't like talking about the money because we already know there's so much money in that show. They're such a monster beast, and they're giving away $1 million. Come on.
Yeah, but again,
I know capitalism, yada yada.
don't you deal like we deal with these people? And the
Look, I
conversation is
understand. That's
always,
one of
I need to save money. I need to save money. It's like you're making literal millions of dollars on top, and you're talking hundreds of dollars that you need to say. It's so fucking confusing.
No, it's true. I mean, I know that I don't usually talk to like flat earthers, for example. The only argument for me that works for flat earth people is that if you think that by now we wouldn't have capitalized and monetized that edge.
Oh my God, people would be jumping off it by now.
No, we would have like, there would be full tourism completely around that edge.
Girl,
you know what I
you
mean?
changed the subject, but yes, absolutely.
Well, no, because we're just talking about
You went right
the
into
need.
flat earth.
No, because I was just thinking about the
Of
need to make money
capitalism.
when there's no need to fucking make money. We create ways to
Right.
make money, and we create ways to claim where we don't have the money too. So yeah, that's it. Congratulations, Kenzie.
Boom. The end of Survivor. We did it.
Yeah,
we watched
did
the
it.
whole
We survived.
season. I never really have watched a whole season like that since season 1 and 2. Do you know what I mean? Like I haven't been such an intent fan. So the fact that I was like watching it live every day, I was like, oh my God, I did that. So even when they were doing the tribal council thing, I was kind of like, oh, I can actually listen to this because I watched the whole thing. Because normally I'm just
like what they're referring to and stuff like that.
Because usually I don't really see the whole thing and I don't really know what they're referring to. And they're like, oh, well, I voted this. I'm like, I don't know what you're fucking talking about. But when Charlie was talking, I was like, I actually know like pretty much everything you're talking about. Or I can piece it together because I saw it. I watched the whole thing.
Yeah, at least you know the votes he was referring to. You know where the relationships were.
But wasn't this tribal council, now that I think about it, in line with some of these other competition shows where it's very like showed a montage of all the epic one-liners that came out of tribal councils. You know what I mean? And just like nature, the snake shall eat the rat, shit like that. So they're like, bum, bum, bum. And then cut to this tribal council and they're like, no Taylor Swift quotes.
This season was not riveting. There wasn't a lot of drama.
Yeah, it wasn't.
And it was crazy because you could tell that they were producing the shit out of it, and they still weren't able to create maybe enough interpersonal friction. I don't know. There was just something missing. But then again, in previous seasons, like the recent seasons, we've had some real, actual like drama happen, and so maybe we're just coming off that. Like people have been airlifted off the island.
I was gonna say lots of actual real injuries.
Yeah, or like men have been kicked off the show for inappropriate touching, stuff like that.
It's always the man.
Or like, do you remember the one season where someone outed a trans person at jury?
Yes.
And called them a liar?
Yes.
So it's kind of hard when you have that to say this is drama. Like, because wow, that was some. We've had some drama this season.
True.
No one got airlifted. No one lied. No one like at jury was like, you betrayed me. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Everyone was pretty. I guess maybe
everyone was playing the game. Everyone knew it was a game.
And maybe the best way to sum up this particular season is that it seemed like the social game was the number one. So everyone's like friendship was really forefront.
And even cute, we're like, I hate you now, but I'll love you tomorrow. I was like, yeah, I was like, say that they know they're playing a game.
Whereas even last season, you still had people that took it personally and had feelings, which made it interesting to watch.
Well, if Banu was there, I'm sure he'd be like, fuck you and fuck you too.
Bono would be on his knees going, God, why have you forsaken me?
Yeah, he's so crazy. And that's the tits for Survivor.
Yeah, that's it. So we survived Survivor. Join us next week while we discuss episode 6 of 90 Day Fiancé Love in Paradise. Shawn has made his decision and has a big surprise for Aaliyah. Is he going to pop the question or break her heart? We don't know. I hope that he's decided he's just going to marry that girl. Alex is on a mission to convert Adriano. Good luck with that. And as if Kyle can't get any creepier, he still needs to tell Annie that he made even more donations on his way to Malta. He is so fucking gross. Tune in.
Yeah, tune in to see if he passes his sexual transmitted disease test. Can't wait to find out. And we might have to say goodbye to Survivor, as we have, but we're still going strong with the GOAT. The GOAT. No one was interested in drinking the shitty Christian margarita. So she's been poured out of the herd. Oh, I get it. Bye-bye, Hurricane Christian. And then she comes back. And by the way. So who's going to be chopped next? It's episode 5 and a double elimination next week.
That's right. You can reach out to us via our website and let us know what you want us to talk about. If you have anything to add at sorry, we're late, we didn't want to be here.com or we didn't want to be here.com. Find us on Spotify, YouTube, and don't forget to follow us on Instagram at we didn't want to be here. I'm
That's
Vielette.
Right. I'm Acid Betty. And as we always say, save the drama for your mama. Bye.
Bye.